It is out there right now, moving through the dark between the stars. A planet the size of Jupiter, wrapped in perpetual night, with no sun to rise and no dawn to break. It feels no warmth, casts no shadow, and answers to nothing. For millions of years, it has fallen through the galaxy in total silence, and nothing in the universe knows it exists. Nothing, that is, until it drifts close enough to be felt. We call them rogue planets, and they do not belong to any star. They were either flung out of the systems that made them or born alone in the cold, and now they wander with no anchor and no destination. Astronomers estimate there may be more of them than there are stars in the Milky Way. Trillions of worlds, drifting unseen, mapping nothing. And the disturbing part is how little we would notice if one arrived. Imagine a night when a new point of gravity slips past the edge of our solar system. It does not shine. It does not announce itself. But the outer comets feel a tug that should not be there, and their orbits begin to bend. That is how a rogue world would knock on our door, not with light, but with a whisper written in motion. And by the time we understood the message, it might already be too late to change. To understand a wanderer, you first have to understand how a planet loses its home. Every solar system begins as chaos, a spinning disk of gas and dust where dozens of infant worlds jostle for room. Most settle into stable orbits, but some do not. When two young planets pass too close, gravity acts like a slingshot, and the loser is hurled outward at tremendous speed. The question is simple but haunting. Where does a planet go once it has been thrown away? The answer is everywhere and nowhere. Once ejected, a planet keeps whatever velocity the slingshot gave it and simply coasts, forever into the void. There is no friction in space to slow it down, no gentle hand to catch it. It becomes a permanent exile, carrying its atmosphere and its buried heat into a darkness that never ends. Some of these worlds still glow faintly from within, warmed by the memory of their own violent birth. But not every rogue was exiled. Some were never part of a family at all. In the vast collapsing clouds where stars are born, small knots of gas can sometimes contract on their own, forming a planet with no sun to orbit. These are the true orphans, worlds that opened their eyes to a universe that had never held a sunrise for them. They have never known a star, and they never will. For them, darkness is not a loss. It is simply home. Here is the problem that kept astronomers awake for decades. How do you find something that gives off no light? Every technique we use to discover planets depends on a star. We watch for the tiny dip when a world crosses its sun, or the faint wobble its gravity creates. A rogue planet has none of that. It is a black object against a black sky, and it should be, by every rule we knew, completely invisible. And yet, the universe left us a loophole. Einstein predicted that gravity itself bends light, and that means even a dark, silent planet warps the space around it. When a rogue world drifts precisely between us and a distant star, it acts like a lens, briefly bending and brightening that star's light. The star seems to flare, then fade, over a matter of hours or days. It is the fingerprint of something we cannot see, pressed onto the light of something we can. In 2011, surveys watching millions of stars caught these tiny flares happening again and again. The pattern pointed to a staggering population of unbound, Jupiter-sized worlds roaming the galaxy. Later missions pushed the count lower, down to planets the size of Earth, drifting utterly alone. Each brief flicker was a ghost passing in the night, revealed for a single moment before vanishing back into the dark forever. So what would it actually be like to stand on a rogue planet? The sky would be the deepest black imaginable, unbroken by any nearby sun, scattered only with the faint, cold light of distant stars. The surface would be frozen far below anything Earth has ever endured, hundreds of degrees below zero. Oceans of water would be locked as solid rock. And yet, this is exactly where the strangest question in this story begins. Because a planet does not need a star to stay warm inside. Deep beneath the frozen crust, heat still leaks from the planet's core, radioactive elements decaying slowly over billions of years. That internal warmth could be enough to melt the underside of the ice, creating vast hidden oceans sealed beneath miles of frozen shell. A thick enough atmosphere, rich in hydrogen, could trap that heat like a blanket. In total darkness, liquid water could survive. And where there is liquid water and warmth, scientists cannot rule out the impossible. On Earth, entire ecosystems thrive in the crushing black of the deep ocean, far from any ray of sunlight, feeding on chemical energy alone. A rogue planet's hidden sea could, in theory, do the same. Life may not require a sun. It may only require a place to hide, and time. That thought reframes everything because it means these drifting worlds are not necessarily dead. For a long time, rogue worlds were a statistic, a number in a survey, distant and abstract. Then, in 2017, something changed. A telescope in Hawaii spotted an object already inside our solar system, moving far too fast to belong to the sun. It had come from interstellar space, swung around our star, and was already leaving. We named it Oumuamua, and it was the first confirmed visitor from beyond our system we had ever seen. Oumuamua was small, only a few hundred meters long, and strangely shaped, tumbling end over end as it fled. It was not a rogue planet, but it was proof of something far more important. Objects really do travel between the stars, and they really do pass through our neighborhood. If a fragment that size could slip in unnoticed until the last moment, the question became unavoidable. What else has crossed our path that we simply never detected? 2 years later, a second interstellar visitor appeared, a comet from another star, confirming the first was no fluke. These were tiny objects, harmless and fleeting. But they were scouts, and they carried a warning wrapped in wonder. The gates of our solar system are not locked. They never were. Space is not empty distance between safe islands. It is an open road, and traffic moves in both directions. So let us ask the question this whole story has been circling. What would happen if a true rogue planet, not a fragment but a full world, passed through our solar system? The good news is reassuring. Space is so vast that a direct collision with Earth is almost unimaginably unlikely. The distances between planets are so enormous that even a wandering giant would most likely sail straight through the gaps without touching a thing. But it would not need to hit us to change us. A massive rogue passing through would tug on everything with its gravity, nudging planets into new orbits and flinging comets from the distant edges of our system inward toward the sun. Earth's orbit could shift, and even a small change in our distance from the sun would transform our climate completely. The planet would never touch us, and still it could reshape our entire future in a single silent pass. And there is a darker possibility, one astronomers take seriously. A close enough encounter could tear a planet loose from the sun entirely, turning one of our own worlds into a new rogue. It is even possible that Earth itself could be cast out, sent drifting into the dark with no star to warm it. Our oceans would freeze from the top down within weeks. This is not fantasy. It is simple gravity, and it has surely happened to countless worlds already. Here, finally, is the twist that changes how we should see the sky. We tend to imagine planets as loyal companions, bound forever to their stars. But the numbers now suggest the opposite may be true. If rogue worlds truly outnumber the stars, then the most common kind of planet in the entire galaxy is not a warm world in a tidy orbit like ours. It is a starless wanderer, adrift in the dark. We are not the rule. We are the rare exception. That means the galaxy is not mostly bright. It is mostly dark, filled with silent, frozen worlds that have never known a dawn and never will. Some may hide warm oceans beneath their ice. Some may carry the last frozen remains of ancient atmospheres. A few, perhaps, still hold something alive in their buried seas, patiently waiting out an eternity of night. The darkness between the stars is not empty. It is crowded. So the next time you look up and feel comforted by a sky full of stars, remember what you cannot see. For every light burning up there, more than one world drifts silently in the black, unlit and unclaimed. One may be approaching us even now, carrying its secrets through the dark. And it will never know we were here, watching the emptiness, wondering if the emptiness was ever truly empty at all.